all of it. So if some of you guys wanted to get in with the other guys and just start joking around, that's fine. If you guys want to just sit there quietly, that's cool too. But you guys probably have another 20 minutes before the shuttle gets there. So, and you've already been on the shuttle for quite some time, probably 45 minutes to an hour, traveling from various parts as you're beamed onto the shuttle around the world to be taken to Starfleet Academy.
I probably asked the person next to me why they signed up.
All right, and who is the person next to you that you would like to ask that to? You can pick it.
I have no idea. I have no idea. Anybody.
I'll RP. So we'll say it's a Prosian, and he says, I signed up make a difference. There's a lot of bad stuff out there, and some of that bad stuff took my friend, and I'm trying to see what I can do to stem the.
Do you
stem
think
the
you'll
tide.
solve it?
I hope so.
Well, good luck with that.
Well, we can't solve the entire universe, but have we die a little piece of it? I'm not sure.
Yes, one piece at a time.
I just want to meet people.
Well, if you wanted to meet people, aren't you in the wrong business and should have gone into bartending? Came a sarcastic reply from the Romulan.
The quiet Vulcan, sitting not very far from the Romulan, looks over and says very quietly, "It would seem that they are meeting people, however."
True.
Yes. The Prosian laughs a little bit. Yes,
True,
sure.
but at least you get to meet more people in a bar and say who's had enough and able to chuck them out.
It depends entirely on why who would wish to meet people, however, would not.
It depends on what really is going on out there. And then she.
So everyone, the character Chavert, played by Dart or Maha, they also cannot speak. They don't have a mic, so keep an eye on the Roll20 chat for any dialogue from.
I'm also going to be doing that on occasion, like I just did.
Well,
just because I don't want to compete with the voices. We got 8 people speaking.
Yeah.
Well, to the replicators, I think the replicators on Earth should have the same in their programming as the ones on Vulcan. I mean, they should be Federation standard, more or less.
And getting you behind the controls of a ship, well, that is a different thing entirely.
I think they put us through extensive training first.
Exactly.
Before we get a real ship.
That will take a few years at least. And then she pulls out her pad and starts doing some typing.
What do you want to do anyway? Engineering, piloting. I myself are into engineering. I'm into it.
Me? I like doing security work. And besides, it's more fun
person. I have a sort of rustic charm.
So, do we get to call you that earth creature, small thing with wings, with a bow? Cupid? Is that the one, or is it Casanova? I can't quite.
That's a cupid.
You guys can see as you're looking out the windows, the only ships that are flying are really shuttles and runabouts. There's not a whole lot of larger ships yet. It's probably close to 9 o'clock in the morning, and you guys are approaching Starfleet Academy. Never pinches myself to sleep. And the shuttle lands in a hangar, not too far away from the main building, and that's what it looks like. You see several other shuttles and runabouts. You see transporter pads. You see people getting out of the shuttles, lining up. The cadets, the NPC cadets, begin to exit the shuttles. You see the 3 older gentlemen sitting there with their hats in their lap, waiting for everyone else to get off the shuttle. What do you guys do?
Well, I would get up and leave the shuttle as well.
All right.
Miserable weather.
Zavas is gonna wait to leave the shuttle last. Just follow the last person out.
Yeah, I was going to wait for the wait till last to get out anyway.
I try to push myself out in front to be the first out.
Okay.
So clammy in there.
Yeah, Kalana's basically just taking notes on personalities and stuff.
Roll insight command.
Okay. Really?
Everybody else, as you guys exit, you see the other cadets kind of lining up. In formation, I assume you guys do as well. Right off.
Okay.
Walk past the line and then eventually get back in.
So how do I roll? Do I just click insight and command?
Yes, and then once you do that, you're going to go over to where it says task roll on the right hand side. Make sure it's at 2. Your task roll is always going to be at 2 unless you are assisting, and then it's going to be only at 1. Your task roll is going to be at 2 unless also you spend momentum or give me threat to increase the task roll. That's just the number of dice you're rolling, basically. That's why it's called the 2d20 system.
Okay, is that
What's up?
okay? Where should that?
Then you click on the Federation symbol or the communication.
Yeah,
Oh,
that
right.
will roll it for you.
Ah, right. Okay, so that's the task roll.
Yep. Awesome. So yeah, you gain insight into all of your, even the NPCs, all of your fellow cadets, and you guys are going to get a momentum. This momentum is for everybody to use. Usually players, unless it's like you're in battle or something, players kind of ask around like, hey, is it okay if I use this momentum that we all currently have pooled? And then usually people will be like, sure, why not? So you guys can either go in your character sheets and click on that momentum, all of you, or you can just remember it. I'm assuming most of you guys will be able to remember it, considering you'll need it at some point.
How many momentums did we start with?
You start with 0. You have to earn it.
Okay, so we're at 1 momentum.
Yep. And I tend to try to make it easy for people to get momentum. Basically, especially in the beginning, most good GMs that I've seen will give everybody like the little tasks, like open up your tricorder and scan something, and then the difficulty can be 0, and then they'll just get 1 success, so they'll get a momentum. So yeah, but thankfully you guys aren't going to have to really experience any major issues, especially like combat or preventing a warp core breach. So
That's
you
what
guys,
you think.
yeah, I could just throw that in there. All the shuttles explode. No.
Where's the warp core? Where's the warp
You know
core?
how players are. Players find difficulty in the most interesting of places.
Yeah, that is definitely true.
Challenge.
So, as Savas is the last one off of the shuttle, or one of the last ones off the shuttle, he wants to try and see if the instructors, since there's only a few of them on the shuttle now, do they seem particularly uneasy or angry, or do they just seem like this is another day?
They seem like it's just another day. They're kind of amused by some of the cadets that are joking around. Basically, kind of in that amused way where they're not amused by their jokes per se or anything like that. They're amused about what's about to happen next.
All right, thank you.
So as everybody files out and gets into formation, there is one other instructor out there with a hat on, but they haven't said anything. They're just standing there directing people to where to stand. And then the 3 instructors walk out. Everybody can clearly see them coming out of one of the shuttles or the runabouts, and they put on their hat as they do, and when they do, their personalities completely change. They just start screaming at all of you, put down your bags, and they just start calling you names, they insult you. They're basically looking for reactions to their intentional stressing of you. So
I
does
kind
it,
of it's more comfortable now.
I want everybody to roll presence command. Basically, this is how you're going to stand before these drill instructors.
Would a focus and composure from childhood be
Yes,
applied here?
definitely.
Oh, yeah, I got that as well. So does that add a 3rd die? Is that how that?
No, hold on. You just hit. You see where it says focus on your character sheet? Just hit yes.
Okay.
Basically, all that does is make it so that you have more of a chance of getting a critical success. See how Bart has 2? Those 2s mean he has 4 successes rather than just 2.
I'm a Tellarite, so this is my natural element. I'm very comfortable in this situation.
How do I roll?
Go into your character sheet and you'll see, let's see, presence. You're going to want to click on presence, and then you want to click on command. Then you want to go over and you see that where it says task roll. There'll be a com badge there, and then you'll have numbers. Make sure you click on the 2 and then roll hit that com badge button, and it will roll for you.
Oh, I used my security by accident, but my command is the exact same score anyway.
Okay, that's fine.
Is there a way in Roll20 that denotes when you have focus turned on or not? Because my 2 rolls are indistinguishable from each other in Roll.
Sorry, who's that?
David, playing Relic. I'm asking if there's in the scroll of Roll20 rolls, is there a way to tell whether or not it actually took your focus into it? Is there a distinguishing characteristic when that happened? Because there wasn't when I did it. That's why I'm asking.
Well, if you go into your character sheet and you click on yes, it should light up. Mine's not doing it though.
Yeah, it takes a couple of clicks.
Yeah, it'll take a couple of clicks, but make sure it lights up, and then once it does, you just hit that button, and it should work. I don't know if I've never had to look at the actual rolls to figure it out, but it should work.
Okay, I was wondering if it made a visual change in the output in Roll20 to show that you didn't use.
No, if you get a red number, that's bad. That's the only difference. Really.
Okay.
right, so I'm gonna go down the list. Kulana, you succeed with spectacular colors. There is another momentum. The difficulty is gonna be 2, so you have a momentum. Bart, you also succeed. That adds 2 more momentum, so I think that brings you guys up to a total of 4 momentum.
Wait,
Kulana,
the one from Kulana,
oh,
I believe,
okay.
is her insight.
Yeah, I looked at the wrong one. My bad. So Kulana, you did not succeed. My bad on that. But you guys do get 2 momentum so far. Kulana did not succeed. You're probably, I don't know, you're a Romulan, so you're probably looking at them like they're crazy or something. Relic, you did not succeed, though they can tell that you're trying. Dark, I think you need to re-roll that because it says no discipline. Savas, you for a Vulcan for some reason did not succeed, probably just because you weren't expecting, them as humans to go off on everybody like this.
Do they seem dangerous?
No, it seems like they're clearly just yelling because that's their job.
Yeah, I am cracking the biggest smile. I couldn't help it.
Which character is this?
Savas Rin.
Aren't you a Vulcan?
Only half.
Oh, okay. So they're looking at a Vulcan smiling. This doesn't make them happy at all. They're really not.
Well, either that or that things that traumatized him so heavily that he can't suppress his emotions anymore.
Speaking of, Garib does not succeed. Dark, you do. Nalex, you rolled something wrong. Don't roll challenge dice. Roll task.
So
Bart,
I'm on task roll, and there's a comm badge next to it, and there's a little blank box next to that. Do I put anything in that box?
no, you just click. Hold on, let me pull up the character sheet. I've always got to look at it. So you see it says task roll, and then under that it says challenge roll. For right now, ignore the challenge roll. Just
But
click
there's
on
no
2
challenge roll button. Yeah, so click on 2 for range.
and what's that? Oh yeah. Click on 2, and then don't worry about the complication range is still going to be 1. And then if you have a focus, you click yes, and then you click on the task roll. But challenge dice is really for like damage and stuff like that. You don't or like succeeding with extended tasks and stuff. It's nothing.
Alright, and then I have presence and command highlighted, and then I hit the comm badge next to task roll,
Mhm.
and it says rolling 0 dice. I don't know if my roll 20 sheet is messed up because I have numbers and presence and command.
Let me look at your character sheet.
Is the word presence and command lit up?
Yeah.
They are. I'm gonna roll it for you. Okay. Yeah, you rolled the challenge dice. That's the task dice. So there's 2 comm badges. Roll the top one, not the bottom one.
Okay, because the top one is next to range on here, so that's probably why, is because it's
That's weird.
formatted
my-
poorly.
I'm looking at yours and it says it's near task roll. So it might be some issue with. I really don't know. So,
What browser are you using?
Chrome.
That's the one you should use. Yeah. So yeah, top right is where you should be looking under dice roller next to task roll. If you click the badge next to.
I did. So there's a badge next to range, and then the range array, and then there's a badge next to straight
Yeah, I
across
think
from
I
task
think he's.
roll.
Is he looking at a starship or something? Because why would he have those?
Sounds like a starship, yes.
It says Starfleet personnel file. I mean, if I wasn't on a Chromebook, I could screenshot it. I guess I could screenshot it next week when I have
No.
my PC up and running.
On-
But
when I use Roll20 on my phone, it kind of does the same thing. It just moves buttons around. It basically just makes sure you roll the top button. It doesn't matter if it's near
Okay.
range or not. It's supposed to be near task. It just moved it up.
Okay.
I honestly don't even see range anywhere on my characters.
It's a complication range. It's right in the dice roll.
Oh, complication range. I got it.
Yeah, and it also does that too. It'll cut off words, so all you see is range. At least that's what it does on my.
So I take it that roll that I just got was a glaring success.
The one I rolled for you, or
Yeah, the
no,
critical fail there.
the roll needed was 2 successes, and you only got 1. So basically, if you didn't succeed, it's no big deal. Except they're just gonna get in your face and yell at you and tell you like stand at attention and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
They're not really they're not going to physically touch anybody. Those of you who succeeded, they don't really worry about, and I think you guys did get either 1 or 2 momentum, but I can't.
So we've got 2 in total, I believe, extra from that entire thing.
Okay, good, because Bart I
No,
think rolled
3 in total because one person had 3 successes. Oh,
That last
that's right.
one
Kalana.
I was testing out the focus to see if they actually rolled 3 dice. So the last one was just a little test.
Alright,
Gotcha.
so we're saying we should have 3 momentum.
In total, there's 3 momentum. 1 from the insight, 2 from my one, and that's it. Yep.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Now let me exit us from these windows. I don't need. So yeah, you guys. After not too long, a few minutes, the drill sergeant or the drill instructors start ordering you guys to march in the lines that you're into the Starfleet Academy. Basically, the lobby, the reception area. As you guys enter, you see the hallways. They're kind of a little bit larger than your average Starfleet ship, which you haven't seen yet, but they're a bit large. But the interior still has the Starfleet starship feel. Yeah, you guys get to. I thought I made a fucking page. Yeah, you guys get to reception, and they basically have you guys sit down on benches and await for someone to call your name. So, if there's any role play or talking that you guys want to do, you can do that. I do have to do one thing real quick.
I expected this place to be a lot nicer.
I think you could do a little bit more colour myself. Than the standard blues and greys and various other stuff.
So at least this has walls. I'm used to working in a tent.
So what were you doing in the tent?
I was training with a doctor there, a virologist, in a kind of a young colony on a remote moon. A plague that came hit the area.
I hope we're not contagious.
Oh no, I never.
She chuckles and goes, I'm joking.
Yes, millions dying is quite hilarious. And kind of moves on and gives a little bit.
Alright, you guys as you guys sit there, you see a man who looks like the man in my display picture come over to you guys. And I'm actually going to move you guys to the actual reception room. So ignore the badly paint-worked class of 2384 thing. So yeah, the man walks over to you, and he's just in a normal outfit. He's in a kind of like a suit and tie. He's not in a Starfleet uniform, and he says, I am Assistant Superintendent Josh Boyle. You have joined Starfleet Academy to become a Starfleet officer. This is not high school. This is not university. This is an academy where you will learn a number of skills, including that of security and military hierarchy. We are not at war currently. Actually, we are currently now with the Tholians. Although we have just been declared war on by the Tholians, we are not a usually militaristic organization. However, we have learned that over the years, many Starfleet cadets tend to hide their, how shall I put this, juvenile immaturity for the first couple of years. And then by the time we realize that they're not Starfleet material, it's too late. So we are going to be a lot more strict in about who we allow through here. And then that whole thing about that I don't know if you got, I'm sure most of you read it, but I basically put basically the rules and shit post about like how you can fail, how you can get kicked out and all that stuff. He gives you that whole spiel, and he says, you will probably never meet the actual superintendent of this school, so do not worry about it. If you meet me again, it probably will not be under good circumstances. You all have core classes that you must pass, but some of you, most of you, if not all of you, have majors and electives and extracurricular classes that you will be also taking. I hope the next time I see you is in 4 years. Otherwise, you will be sent to my office, and that will not be a pleasant time. But in 4 years, I hope to be able to say, congratulations, you're Starfleet officer, and give you the rank of, or be there as the superintendent gives you the rank of ensign. As long as you conduct yourselves with professionalism and remember your first duty, and then as he says that, he pauses for like a second, and then continues. He says, then everything should be fine. Really, Bart? I hope that's not in character. So yeah, he says, we will be calling your names and assigning you your classes. If anyone has any questions, please direct them to the drill instructors and the lobby attendants. And just kind of so basically what happens next is everyone here is going to be in the same core classes together. The only difference is going to be because your focuses are different. Each week, each Saturday, it's going to be broken down into basically where I can get most of the characters and players at any given time. So if a lot of you have like astronavigation as a focus, then that'll be like one of the first things that we go into. So yeah. After everybody kind of gets their assignments or their class assignments and courses, they're directed towards down the hallway. Bring that up again. To their first class. I guess modern people would call it homeroom. But you guys, hopefully this is the right one. Yep. You guys enter the Diplomacy and Law Federation and Starfleet Law and Protocol classroom. That is the first class that you will be taking. Oh yeah, before you do that, let me actually make sure I have a picture for it. Before you do that, you guys go to your bunks. I'm gonna say that unless you specifically request it, all of the player characters are gonna be in the same barracks. I think there's enough beds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times 2. That's 12. Yeah. So yeah, you guys can drop all your stuff down. You guys probably can relax for like 10 or 15 minutes before you guys have to be in. Are you okay? If you're claiming bunks, if you want to, basically you take your just it's kind of hard to explain. Click on your character sheet. Don't actually go into your character sheet, and then drag your quote unquote token over, and then drop it like I did with
You grab your character sheet by the name,
Yeah.
and then drag it onto the screen.
Or I can do it for you, and then you can just move them to where you want.
Wow, that did not work as well as I was hoping for.
Yeah, you have to put your picture in, and then it'll basically make it.
Oh yeah, my picture's just a rectangle and it made it a square, so I look a lot fatter than I should.
You can make your own game token with the link I just provided.
And I will after the game. I was literally doing this as we were waiting for everybody to show up. So
Yeah, let's have a look.
Token stamp as well, because I don't usually make tokens because I don't have time, but that's like a very interesting and simple way to do it. So, is there anything that you guys want to do role play before we get to the first?
No, you can go ahead and move ahead.
Nope.
Alright, let me just jump over to Discord and check some. Alright, so yeah, you guys are. I gotta minimize it again because I had to maximize it for something. Alright, so you guys have claimed your bunks or are in the process of doing it. Once you do it, let me know and I will move you guys to the first class.
Is there a chance you can get rid of that one, please?
I don't have a preference, so I'm not going to drop it on.
Okay. Any chance someone can get rid of that one for us, please? Thank you.
Sorry, what did you say?
There's a token without a face on. If you can, if that can be got rid of, that'd be great. Oh, okay, that one's gone. Cool. Awesome. That's...
Yeah, I had moved to another page and I didn't know what you were talking about, but then when I went back, I saw it. Alright, I'm gonna move everyone to the next page unless you are still moving bunk.
Would I be would I be having a disruptor pistol with me, or would that be construed illegal?
I don't think anybody has any.
Nobody has weapons. If you did try to smuggle weapons, let me know and I'll kick you out. That's basically how it's.
Okay, because I wasn't going to sell it to anybody, so. Okay.
No, like, there's not even. I mean, not only can scanners detect like every little thing that you're carrying, but also, as a GM, if anyone plans on doing anything like that, I might even kick the player out of the server because there's a difference between role playing a character to be kind of sneaky and then trying to break the game, and that's.
Oh, I won't be breaking the game or anything. You know, it's just a question.
If someone did, if someone did say I'm bringing a phaser or a disruptor, that's not even just like, oh, I'm trying to be sneaky. That's basically a fuck you to Starfleet Academy and the GM. So I would just kind of get rid of that person. But since nobody's doing that, we don't have to worry about it. So I'm gonna move you guys to the next page.
And Romeo is no longer to be served at diplomatic functions.
this is what the room looks like for diplomacy and law. Let me go get the. Maybe I probably already did. Ashley, here she is. This is what your professor looks like. She has, aside from the ears, she has Vulcan ears. She has the rank of captain, and as you guys, everyone files in. If you want, you can move your tokens to your desks, but you don't have to. She says, "I am Captain Ashlyn. I will be instructing you on Federation law, Starfleet protocol, and galactic ethics, as well as leadership and diplomacy."
Does that include interstellar law, Captain?
I will not be going into detail about other cultures' laws, like even if they're in the Federation, but I will say, as a kind of as like a prelude to that, I will say that you, as Starfleet officers, you are to obey other cultures' laws when you are in their territory. There are some cultures like the Klingons who have very specific warrior code ethics. Although you don't have to go in and fight for honor and die gloriously. Like, obviously, you don't have to do that, but you are expected to follow their laws as they. I mean, yeah, you are expected to follow their laws as well as our laws as much as possible. In their territory, when you're in their territory, and this goes for every culture. But I gotta pull All right, so what's this one? So, yeah, we are. The first thing everybody needs to know is that not everything has a law or a rule to it. Some things are just common sense. Starfleet officers, there's something called conduct unbecoming of a Starfleet officer. If you do something that is unprofessional, that something a Starfleet officer would not do, you are subject to the Uniform Code of Military Justice. This doesn't mean that this means that it's something that you knew you shouldn't do, but you did it anyway, even though there's no law against it per se. For example, if you're a captain of a starship and your doctor decides to leave a room and you think that's suspicious, and you shoot him, you will probably get in trouble for it unless you have an absolute reason why you think he is under the influence of an alien attack. That is, if you do not have evidence of it, don't do it, because you will be in trouble for it. We have had that happen recently. There is also something that certain captains can't wrap their mind around, and that's genocide. Sending a virus over to a massive starship to wipe out millions of people is called genocide. It doesn't matter if they're attacking you, you do not do it. Biogenic law forbids any type of biologic warfare, even in the slightest. We do occasion bend the rule for the Borg, but aside from that, consider it almost as important as the Prime Directive. Oh, and that brings me to the Prime Directive. So as far as, I'm not going to go like in super detail because there's a lot actually there, but if you guys want to go to Memory Alpha and look at the Prime Directive, the only thing I'm going to say about the Prime Directive, and I, as a player and as a GM, I have had to wrestle players with this and GMs. It's not a black and white thing. It's not something that you say this is right and this is wrong. Basically, what it is in the moment, captain, commander, whatever, whoever is in charge is the one responsible for whatever decisions are made. So, for example, if there is an entire culture of people who have been infected, and you can save them, but you decide not to. And you can also save them without them even knowing it because they're pre-warp or whatever. Then you still can do that, but first of all, number one, they have to either ask for help or you have to do it without them finding out that you had anything to do with it. But if you, for example, know that you can help them, they've asked for help, and you decide not to because I don't want to interfere in their law, in their culture, and then you end up helping wipe out their culture, that is considered not good, and that is definitely not following the Prime Directive. So the Prime Directive is basically about balance and priorities. It's not a black and white thing. For example, you have the Omega Directive, which completely negates the Prime Directive no matter what. So just keep that in mind when you're on your starship. It's all a matter of balance and priority.
So if an advanced culture starts like a covert takeover of a primitive culture, and we find that out, what is the stance to take?
You deal with the advanced culture first. If you go to them and you try diplomacy and that does not work, then you go back to the Federation. You go back to the people above you, and then you get orders from them. 9 times out of 10, for example, well, I can't even use that example because the Bajorans are actually pretty advanced. But if an advanced culture is subjugating another culture outside of the Federation territory, technically that has nothing to do with us. All we can do is try our best to the diplomatic route with the advanced culture. If they then decide that they want to try to attack us, then that is an act of war, and then war will be declared on them. And then in the process of the war, it may become known to the lower culture, to the lower advanced culture, that, I mean, chances are by then they already know that there's extraterrestrials out there, so the Prime Directive is kind of, it's like I said, it's a matter of balance. If you go in to a culture, like if you went directly to the lesser advanced culture first and was like, hey, rise up against these people, no, that's wrong. That's completely wrong, because not only are you trying to instigate an even worse situation, but you're also letting them know, like, hey, here's all this technology that we're bringing with us, and that could drastically alter the course of history. Subjugation and genocide are not the same thing. For example, take the Remans. But before Shenzon, they were subjugated by the Romulans for a very long time on their little planet as they were mining dilithium. The Federation did nothing about it, despite the fact that the Federation knew it. Eventually, the Remans were used as cannon fodder and shock troops during the Dominion War. But still, we didn't do nothing because that's their culture, and that's how that's just how they came about. Currently, as of 2385, the Remans are free, with the help of President Janeway, thankfully. But we do always have to look at that line in that gray area and decide, is it the best course of action? You're always going to have, let me read this. We are only to observe, not interfere with the race unless they ask. Yes, if it's a lesser advanced species who doesn't know about extraterrestrials, then no. Unless they specifically make contact with you, you cannot interfere. It doesn't matter how drastic the situation is. Now, if another culture comes and instigates first, then the Prime Directive is more or less out the window. They already know about advanced technology. They already know about other advanced cultures and extraterrestrials. All you would be confirming for them at that point is that there is another one out there. It doesn't interfere with their culture per se. If you go in and try to help them, as long as you're not giving them technology or information, and you're actually just, if you're actually doing what's the word? As long as you're interfering with the advanced culture that is subjugating them or at war with them, and they already know about you, then it's fine. But the whole point of the Prime Directive is to make sure that you don't drop a communicator and then that ends up changing the entire culture from a pre-warp primitive culture into a galactic empire, essentially, because of that one accident. It's not basically because Starfleet doesn't want to get their hands dirty. It's because we've tried interfering, thinking we're doing the best before, and we ended up screwing things up before. We learned from our mistakes. So again, it's all about balance, and things like that. So guys, give me just a minute. If you have any questions, and this is the GM, not her. This is GM. If you guys have any questions for her, you can let me know. But I have to look at some messages real quick. All right, so back to the class. Let's see. Captain, at what point would we decide to become involved? As subjugation leads to genocide, where is the line one considers the occupation? The issue with the occupation of Bajor is they knew long before, that they're actually one of, if not the most advanced civilization in the Alpha Quadrant. They had warp-capable ships and solar sailing ships long before we even came into existence. So they're not considered pre-warp or in that same vein. They're subjugated, yes, but they definitely had technology that was on par with the Cardassians and Starfleet. The only difference was because they were not militaristic, because they remained on their homeworld Bajor, because they were peaceful and religious and spiritual. Because of all of this is why they became subjugated, not because they didn't have the technology. They welcomed the Cardassians at first until they figured out what they were really about. So the issue with that was Starfleet did try to help them. We got into a war with Cardassian. Now, at what point would you decide to become involved? After taking everything into consideration. One thing that Starfleet does not abide by is captains and commanders who act on impulse. If you see something happening and you decide to charge in, phasers blasting without stopping to think about it, unless someone is in immediate danger, then you will probably be in big trouble. So famous captains like Captain Picard, Captain Sisko, they always had a plan. They always, if you see something that's wrong, that's subjugation, and it is of a lesser species, and you can see that this advanced species will annihilate this, younger species if they don't do what they want, then again, before you do anything with the less advanced species, you have to address the advanced species first. And you still have to go back to Starfleet for your orders. You can, in that moment, you can go to the advanced species and say, hey, talk to us. Let's figure out a way around this. If they do not want to hear you, or if they fire on you or whatever, then you need to get orders, because more than likely Starfleet has already seen this issue and has standing orders out there for people that encounter it. The Cardassian, the demilitarized zone is a prime example. Starfleet is not to go into the demilitarized zone and do military operations against the Cardassians. And of course, the demilitarized zone doesn't exist now in 2385. Neither does the neutral zone. But back then we were not, after the war they made the demilitarized zone so that we could not go in to do any kind of military actions to help any of the colonists, and that was because the colonists agreed that they would remain in neutral space outside of the Federation even at their own peril. It's something they agreed to. We wanted them to come back and, to leave the planets, but they wanted to stay on those planets. So that is, like I said, it's all about degrees, priorities, and balance. Does anyone else have any questions? Okay, because out of character, I'm gonna pull some if I can remember. Actually, I'm not gonna find it in Discord. You're welcome, and also. Man, a lot of people texting. I haven't been seeing it because I've been talking. So yeah, sorry if I don't get to you on Discord. It's just that usually when I'm using voice chat on my phone and on Roll20, Discord kind of takes a back seat for me. There was something I was going to look up. Saturday. If nobody else has any questions, that will be all for today. So some of the NPC cadets begin getting up to leave. In character or in game, this whole the whole thing probably took an hour and a half or so, but out of character, I think it was like less than 45 minutes, less than 30 minutes. So the next class that you guys are heading to, as you look on your little sheet, is going to be history. Which, for me, I actually wrote stuff down, so.
Nice.
I didn't do my homework.
So as you guys, I'm gonna move you guys there. This is the history room. It's actually on like a 3rd or 4th level of the academy. You can clearly see outside there. That's nice. You see pictures on the screen, of the holographic screen of history. However, there doesn't seem to be an instructor in this one. You do see this. There's some devices on the walls that look kind of strange as well. That looks like I'm gonna say in game. It's probably something else. As everyone kind of files in, you see after a couple minutes that the devices start to project stuff. And then you can see. I'm going to say that unless you've been living under a rock, and the Romulan this might apply to because it's just a Romulan, but everybody knows, all humans. It's like kind of like Jefferson, what's his name? George Washington. Like everyone knows who he is. Everyone knows who Zefram Cochrane is. You may not know every detail about it, but you've heard the name. You know he. Especially if you're going into Starfleet Academy, you've done a little bit of research. So seeing this man appear as a hologram behind the podium, kind of some of the NPC cadets kind of gasp and look at each other. They weren't expecting this. When they looked at their coursework, it didn't say who was going to be their instructor for this one, so everyone's kind of awestruck. And he says, hello, how's everyone doing today?
Fine.
Yes, I'm not too bad, and yourself?
I'm doing great. He kind of has that like slow, almost like well, I mean, you can tell just by looking at him. He's not very. he's professional, but he's not like overly professional. He's wearing like a sports jacket over like a t-shirt with a rock band on it or something, and he's just kind of like meandering about behind the podium, looking at all of the students, kind of like scratching his stubble on his chin. Funny, Alex. He says, "I am Zephram Cochran, as I'm sure most of you have figured out, and we will be talking about history." Now, I know what you're thinking. Shouldn't we be talking about warp design? I literally invented it. But no, because I'm a hologram, so I know a lot about history, because that's what they programmed me with. They also programmed me with this very Zephram Cochran personality, as you can tell. I gotta read these real quick. I don't remember that one. It must be from a different show, or maybe I haven't seen it. So he said,
Ellie Confidential.
yeah, I haven't seen that. He says, this is Federation and early Starfleet history. As you guys enter on the board behind him, some words appear. I'm gonna post them in the Roll20 chat. But he does not. Actually, everyone roll insight. What would it be to notice some writing on a holographic writing on a screen? Science?
Sure.
Yeah, insight, science.
Or engineering, maybe? I'll take
Yeah.
science, though. Science
I've heard perception checks are one of the hardest things to make a decision about.
It definitely is, because there's no it's
Yeah,
easy
that was
when
a
you're,
good roll for me.
it's easy when you're in combat, because you can just be like insight security, but other than that, you gotta really think about it. All right, anyone that's got more than a 0 notices. So if you got 2 or 3, then you can take some momentum. That I think puts you up to like 4 or 5 momentum, maybe 6 even. Yeah, 'cause he's
Yeah,
got
we're on 6 now. Yeah.
Nice. So at this point, you guys cannot get any more momentum, but if you do get quote unquote momentum, it's kind of bonus momentum that you have to use in that moment. Most people use momentum like that to ask questions, ask additional questions to get more information from the GM. That's definitely allowed, especially in a classroom setting. So yeah, the complication there, because okay, so the red 0, that's a complication. That means you notice it, but you might misread it, or you notice it, but maybe he's standing in the way and you can't quite get it. So you might want to, if you spend, I believe it's 2 momentum, you can get rid of the complication so that you can completely read it. At this rate, I would do it just because y'all have been getting a lot of momentum.
You guys mind if I spend the momentum?
No, do it.
Do it.
Alright, so I'll spend the 2 momentum to erase the complication.
All right, I have posted what is on the board in the Roll20 chat. So you guys probably remember the assistant superintendent saying something about a first duty and then having a pause, and that was clearly what he was talking about. But yeah, Zephram Cochran is pacing as he's talking. He says, he kind of glances over at the board and he gestures to it. He says, "What is the truth? What is the truth about Starfleet history, about Federation history? How far back into history should we go? Who here has heard of Captain Kirk or Fleet Captain Guard, the Battle of Axanar, Governor Kodos, Captain Archer, John Frederick Paxton, Khan Noonien Singh, Gabriel Bell? Because in truth, the beginnings of Starfleet and the Federation go all the way back to before even my time. Before World War III, before even World War II. Of course, most of that is temporal mechanics malarkey that we're not going to get into, but and so he just continues talking and rambling on. He shows you those maps of like the different sector or the different territories of the galaxy and who owns them, and kind of goes into like how they came about, how these empires began to flourish. I will give you guys, you guys can watch it for your own leisure, a YouTube video that kind of describes the history, pretty good detail. It's only like 5 or 10 minutes, but I'll do that after probably.
Sometimes they say that truth is that history is always made by the victor, which is also subjective.
But isn't truth subjective, sir? Truth throughout history is different. He says yes. So what we have done as Starfleet, the Starfleet, what Starfleet Academy has done is we have gone to Vulcan, we have gone to Tellar Prime, and we have gone to Andor or Andoria. We've gone to Romulus and to Kronos, and we have gathered their history. Today, and you can make up your mind as to what you believe the truth is. But I, for one, having been from 2160, or was it 2060? I think it was 2060. Being from 2060, I remember the truth of them, and it was not pretty. I mean, the first time I ever smiled after the Great World War III was when I actually flew in the Phoenix for the first time, but that's beside the point. As far as truth goes, sometimes it's obvious. Sometimes you do what is right because it's right, and because if you don't, there's consequences. And sometimes it's not too obvious. Sometimes the truth is just very, it's hidden. I mean, just ask the Tal Shiar, they do it all the time. He says, sometimes, whether it's scientific truth or historical truth, or even personal truth, the truth can be hidden so well that you look at it one way and you either don't see it, or you see it in a different light. You see it maybe not as the truth. I mean, and he taps on he actually doesn't have to tap his own. He turns and looks at the screen. What appears next is an article. I don't know if you guys have read it. It's actually one of the latest articles in the Reports and Logs channel. But it basically details how the Tholians declared war, attacked a carrier ship, and destroyed it. And he looks at that and he says, "What about that strikes you? What about this? This article strikes you as odd." I mean, it's the Global News Network that wrote it, but there is still a lot of subjective material in there. There's still, it's talking about President Janeway and the Ferengi. What does that have to do with anything? It doesn't have to do with anything about the Tholians declaring war, and yet there it is. So you have to remember, there always is an agenda. It doesn't matter who you're talking to. It doesn't matter how big the organization is, how good the organization is. Everybody has an agenda. And everybody lies at least once in a while, to quote a great doctor I once looked up. So keep
I've
that
also
in mind, and remember, your truth, your morality should not depend on anybody else's. Let me pull up these notes real quick.
They say sometimes that truth is a three-edged sword. My truth, your truth, and the actual truth.
Yes, there is that saying, and that is definitely I would say that is true as well, because it's all a matter of perspective. You look out these windows and you see what? You see clouds, you see tall buildings. Well, what does the person down below see when they look up from the alley? They see enormous structures. They can't, they may never ever be able to enter. So there's some people out there looking in that wish they could be in Starfleet Academy, but they never will be. That's their truth. But how are they any different from you? Not by very much. But they may never be able to get in based on personality, based on just their view on life in general, based on their status in life, based on the fact that they may not be here very much longer. They might decide to move, or their family might decide to move and they won't be able to join Starfleet Academy. Or maybe they want to join Starfleet Academy, but there's something about Starfleet that they just don't agree with. And that's their truth. And maybe you see things completely different, but for them, that's their truth. So how do you look at the objective truth? Well, you take both of those truths and put them together, and then you say, what's in common between them? That's obviously, probably, most likely the whatever the is in common is definitely probably going to be true, but that doesn't mean that what they think isn't true as well. What you think isn't true as well. It's just a matter of perspective. However, when it comes to scientific truth, when it comes to um, deception, there are some things that is just clearly untrue. I mean, we know certain things about science that people even just 100 years ago didn't know, and they would say that that's magic, but we know it's true. So I'm gonna give you guys a break. You guys can talk amongst yourselves. I will be back, and then if you have any questions, feel free to ask. And then he kind of just blips. So everybody roll inside. This is another perception thing. Inside the, I'll say security for this one, because it is kind of secure.
Okay. My dice hate me.
Again.
Yeah, I think I'm having a bad dice day.
Well, anybody that has 2 successes or more. So let's see, that's Savas,
I'm
Chavers.
sorry I'm late to this roll here. It's Insight Security.
Yeah, it's all good. Shavana, Relic, you guys get a bonus momentum because of relics. So Relic, you can ask. Wait, no, y'all use that 2 momentum. So yeah, y'all are back up to 5 momentum. So yeah, but the people that succeeded, you guys notice one of the cadets, one of the NPC cadets. You guys maybe turn at the right time to see it or something, but he turns and hands a small gold coin to another cadet, and they hand him a pad with information on it.
I'm gonna try and angle myself or to get a peek.
Yeah, with you're gonna have to be kind of. Let's see. Did you didn't put? I'm looking for your token to see where you are.
I'm in the lower right desk.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Yeah, because I'm gonna say these empty desks is probably where they're at. You look over and you can see on the pad is basically notes. In essence, basically this guy, as you know him as Olson Hardy, he basically didn't take notes during this, and now he's getting notes from somebody else.
So you're saying I see somebody cheating? Is that what you're saying?
Pretty much. I mean, I wouldn't consider it.
There is no currency.
That is a good thing to remember, that Starfleet and the Federation does not use currency. They only use credits when dealing with outside cultures. But he did hand him a small gold coin, probably the size of a penny.
Okay.
Well, you could argue there is no test right now, so it's not really cheating.
I'm going to use my I'm assuming that I have the equivalent of a camera phone. My personal communicator's probably got all the features. I'm gonna snap a shot of whatever it is I'm viewing to potentially be exposed to disciplinary steps.
Okay, roll a reason engineering difficulty.
I'm sorry, difficulty what?
3. It's difficulty 3 because you're trying to do it without them knowing.
Okay, with the permission of the group, I'd like to spend momentum in order to increase the likelihood that I could succeed at this as opposed to almost guaranteed.
Sure, no problem.
Well, we had one get double 2s, and then you got a 2 as well. So we have an extra momentum that you could spend as part of this roll, or would this be a separate roll?
Yeah, he's got to roll separately anyway. It's a different
Okay,
roll.
I couldn't remember how the extra momentum works.
All right. So in any case, in case this applies, am I calling you Josh, by the way?
You can call me Eli. That's what I go by usually.
Okay. Eli, I have Studious that says that when I spend momentum to obtain information, I get to ask additional questions or something like that. Or I also have untapped potential. I guess that's for reclaiming it though. So I don't know if either of those apply. All right. All right. So how much momentum do you advise I spend in order to try and succeed at this?
Well, it's a difficulty 3, so you would need, if you're not spending momentum, you would need at least 1 critical success. Honestly, it depends on how important it is to you. If it's really important, you might want to roll 4 dice, and then you would end up having to spend 3 momentum to get 2 extra dice, or you could just roll 3 dice total, and then you'd only need to spend 1 momentum, you get 1 dice. So it just depends how.
All right. I don't want to spend a lot of the group's momentum for something that I think is personally interesting and valuable, because my character absolutely would be a snitch, but I'm not going to dump group momentum for that purpose. I'll just take.
Okay, that sounds reasonable.
Can I use my espionage?
Down to what, 5 or 4?
5, I believe.
Okay. I was going to say, can I use my espionage to actually get the faces?
Just to make sure I'm doing this right, I'm not using focus because I don't think I can apply composure to this unless you're thinking I can. Otherwise, I'm just rolling 3 dice on a task roll, right?
Yeah, I would. If I was you, I would use composure because you're trying to maintain, not being seen by these other cadets, unless you don't care.
Okay. Oh, I absolutely do care. So, I'm putting yes to focus and putting on task roll.
Okay. Oh, you just barely succeeded.
Wow, look at that! I got lucked out. I can't believe I got a critical.
I know. So yeah, you managed to get a snapshot, and you probably could also record them whispering about it as well.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, for sure I will. Anything I can get. I think I caught somebody, and I think I'm going to be rewarded.
Could I use my espionage to actually see the reflection of their faces in the little desk monitors?
What do you mean, like to see who?
Yes, to see who received and who got.
Where's your character located?
I'm here.
Yeah, it'll be a insight security.
And I'm using the focus.
Espionage? Yeah,
Yep.
I guess you're spying. Ooh. Still got
Critical
a
fail.
Yeah, still, even with the focus, man. So no, you actually, do you want to spend 2 momentum to get rid of that
Yes, I would. Yes, please.
All right, so y'all are down to 3, I believe. But yeah, you can't, there's a couple of guys, a couple of cadets, NPCs that look similar. There's like 2 or 3 that just look like your traditional jocks. and that's kind of, you're like, it's one of those three jocks. I don't know. I didn't, I'm assuming your character didn't spend a whole lot of time like getting to know each individual cadet, because there's probably like 8 other cadets in this movie.
No, she's hasn't really gotten to know everyone. So she's actually going to make it a duty to try and get as much dirt on everybody as possible.
All right, sounds fun.
Sounds like we know who will be.
What'd you say?
Looks like we have a future spy in our midst.
Yeah, of course we do. This is Romulan. What do you expect? Same thing on my other ship. The first officer Romulan's always doing.
So is there a resource we can go to for these talents? Because in the character creation process, it gave me descriptions, but I can't seem to access that anywhere on the internet without going into another character sheet, and it
You're
doesn't
trying to. Which things are you trying to see?
just what the talent definitions. They've got oral scholar, test interfere, advisor, and untapped potential, and I'm not going to remember what those things do unless I write them down, but I don't seem to be able to have
Yeah, he just linked you to him in Discord.
in Discord.
Yeah, because
I
I'm
think it has almost all of them at least.
actually
And the ones it
constantly
doesn't have, you should be able to search for by name.
because I'm always constantly watching.
I don't think I have anything. I have one racial, and the rest are pretty standard, I think.
All right, so you guys did that. A few minutes later, the hologram reappears, and he says, "Quiz time." He says, "Everyone, turn over your notepads," and everyone, of course, turns them over so they can't see him. And he's
Should have gone
so
Cardassian.
instead of actually physically me asking questions that I personally don't care about, I'm just gonna have everybody roll for it. So this is gonna be either reason or insight. It's up to you, because insight, I would say, is like you're trying to come up with the answer, but you're like, well, fuck it, I don't remember, so I'll just give them the most common sense answer. Reason or insight, and you can use whatever your highest discipline is, except for medicine. But the others you can use. And then just roll that, and as long as you get above a 1, you're good.
Oh, excuse me.
I've had so many double criticals.
Finally, 2 successes.
You said it was insight or reason, and then what was the discipline?
It's
Whatever the highest.
anything but medicine.
And then I got that oral scholar, which I think might apply here. It has something to do with. Something to do with anytime I spend a momentum that has something to do with my knowledge, it's. I get another momentum, I think.
Unless we're spending momentum, you said anyone over a 1 succeeded correctly.
Yep.
So we'd be full on momentum again, it looks like.
Yep.
Oh. I'll take that actually.
Now, here's a question as a player because I don't know. If we have maximum momentum like this, and we go over, because it looks like we went over by 3 if my math is right, would we be able to apply that momentum to anybody who made the roll against this?
No. But the person that did go over with that bonus momentum, if they wanted to ask the instructor or me a question, or if they wanted to, actually there is something called changing the narrative, but I'm not sure if it would actually, basically what it says is you can spend 2 momentum to kind of like retroactively change something, like Like, let's say you go on an away mission and you forget your phaser, and you're like, oh, here's some mementos. I got a phaser now, kind of like that. But I don't think it would actually help with rolls because, yeah,
Alright, I was mostly asking if Xantier or Trevor could help Alana, but it sounds like they can't. Just curious. Thank you.
no problem. I mean, you can always just lean over and tell them the answer.
I could.
I get my phone ready.
The question is, what is the question?
Well, I'm not actually asking asking the question, but I will say that Kulana and nope, that's it, just Kulana. Whatever the question was, she didn't get it. So
No, she's
I'm going to
probably
now
too busy
roll.
keeping an eye on those jocks.
Yeah, probably. Now I am going to roll for the other NPC cadets, and let's see what happens. Why is it doing? Okay, it didn't want to. Wow. That's okay. I'm not rolling for them because I apparently did not put different characters. Alright. I mean, I did, but I didn't fill it in. So we'll say that because of the whole cheating thing, this guy, Olson Hardy, really didn't pay attention and he just completely flunked the quiz. So basically, Zephram Cochrane kind of gives him a hard time, and then he walks over and looks at both of them and he says, "Were you cheating?" And they're just like, "No, we just, I just wasn't paying attention, I guess." Oh, okay. He looks at the notepad and he's like, okay. And he thinks it's his notepad, so he just puts it up and walks back over.
So what was that coin you two were passing around?
Is that what you said for real?
Real!
Oh dear. They just look at you and like chop. Roll presence command, and we'll see if Zephram takes you. So he's like he believes you, but he also you failed the quiz too. So he's kind of like wondering like is this just payback? So he does walk over and he says he hands out he extends his hand and the guy that received the gold coin just kind of like sighs and puts the gold coin in his hand and Zephram Cochrane walks to the front and he says, "This is what we're talking about. Personal truth." So, clearly this cadet doesn't care about actually passing correctly. He's here for whatever reason. Actually, let me pull up his character sheet. Maybe it'll say Olson Hardy, played by fucking John Cena.
Yeah, that's.
So yeah, he's damn. Okay, I need to pull up the other character sheet because that one doesn't have anything. SFA character. Olson Hardy. And he says, Olson Hardy, you are here to join the security department. You, for some reason, know Vulcan martial arts, combat tactics, and you are a negotiator, but apparently your negotiation skills are lacking today because you are being sent to the superintendent's office. You as well, Alfred Jesperson, played by Skarsgård. So these two guys kind of get up and march their way to the assistant, or yeah, I guess it would be assistant superintendent.
And I get the dirty looks.
Oh yeah, not even from them, but also kind of from Zephram Cochrane. Like he just looks at you like, why? But he doesn't say anything. He says, "All right, class dismissed," and he kind of flip side. So at this time, we'll say it is lunchtime. So who's going to lunch and who's going to the barracks?
Oh,
Here, lunch.
lunch.
All right, good choice. I'm hungry in real life.
Savas would like to try and fall into step beside Cavern as everyone's walking down to the mess hall, and just offer the Vulcan salute to Chavrik as they walk.
So you guys are walking towards and you guys are with the other NPC cadets. There is another Vulcan cadet named Sakhen. He walks up near you guys, the Vulcans, and he says, "It was very illogical for them to cheat in such an obvious fashion."
Do
Do you not agree?
would the others hear that as well? Is this just open conversation?
Yeah, he's not being quiet about it, but he's specifically addressing the other two Vulcans.
Well, what do you expect from probably rich kids? Don't want to pay attention.
Well, something very like that is not exclusive to rich people or anyone. You can see that everything.
Usually everyone cheats someone somehow.
And then one of the human cadets NPCs, Sherwin Dacko, or is that Dacko? I don't know. He says, "Yeah, according to Zephyr Cochran, everybody lies, at least once." Sakhen agrees with Savasrin about logic not really factoring into character choice. You guys approach the very Spartan-looking cafeteria. It's clearly just like everything else here. It's kind of like more like this is where you go until you're worthy kind of thing. So yeah, you guys, if you want to move your tokens to where you want to sit, that's fine. I'm gonna say the entrance is all the way over there, or
Um,
all the way over there.
I was actually going to say if we clump them all together, you can actually select them all and then copy and paste them onto the next screen.
Sorry, I had to take a drink. You talking about the tokens?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
but then they would have to move them. So to me, it's just kind of simpler for them to move them.
Okay.
Plus, I will somehow Roll20 fucking hates me, and I would screw it up. Also, one thing I don't know if y'all know, Roll20 does not like pictures. They do not like having a lot of pictures. So the more pictures, the more likely I run out of storage.
I know the feeling.
So all these will be deleted after today.
Hey,
Ooh,
So as
excuse
you
me.
looks like some of you guys are together, others are apart from each other, which is fine. I'm gonna move my NPCs over. Sakhen is going to sit near the Vulcan. The Vulcan.
One of the ways, by the way, to get around the pictures thing is to make it a part of chat, not a part of the main screen.
What do you mean make it a part of the chat?
Do you have the URL of the picture you're showing right now for the?
No, not really.
Okay, I was gonna say if it's on an internet location, you can just if it's just a visual reference, not an actual map where you're intending for us to put tokens, then you can just put it. You can just basically put the image into the chat like any other picture.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, there's definitely a way around it, but I really like having visuals on the screen for me and everybody. Like I don't know why, I just do.
like it too. I just if you were running into a situation where you didn't want to be.
Yeah, I'll probably end up having to do that. This is my second account. I had to make another one because it ran out of room. And a lot of the one of the problem was I had a lot of duplicates because I had 4 or 5 campaigns and I would have to use the same pictures, and I didn't know about the storage thing at the time, so I just keep adding the same picture, not knowing that it did that. So I basically ended up with like 3 of the same picture, and yeah, so that's kind of why I ended up deleting a bunch of the pictures, but it didn't really help. Yeah, most of these cadets are kind of grouped up at the same table, talking and shooting the breeze, eating fucking Holly Marie Combs is there, and so, yeah.
Okay, as I
Dreary place.
as I come up with my tray, I'll say to Rillick, is that how you pronounce the name, David?
Yes, it is.
Okay, yeah, I'll go up to him and I'll say, is this seat taken?
I'm sorry, I was getting a message that I had to answer. I'm sorry. Well,
Is this seat taken?
oh no, no, please. I look at you. What?
Colonna
What's
Tasala. She's
your
Romulan.
race?
Romulan.
I'm just wondering if I'd be familiar with it, so I have a sense of it.
You
Like, I
probably
have an affinity towards Vulcans and other people who are more known stereotypically reason based, and a little bit more fearful or dubious of people who are explicitly physical.
she's basically well, they're basically cousins of species, Romulans and Vulcans.
Okay. Yep. So I look you up and down as though studying you for a snap.
Yours.
And then look around at what everybody's eating. Are we all basically eating the same slop?
More or less.
Well, so there's no replicators down here.
If they're gonna train you like the military does, they're gonna want to make sure that you're not getting much enjoyment from most of the process, except for.
Yep.
Okay. Well, it looks like I'll have to hand program some really nice Romulan recipes. And she then pulls out a pad and opens it to a different page and starts designing something. I was also going to say, is there a chance you can allow names to be shown so we know who is whom?
You want the character sheets? I'm pretty sure I thought they were.
No, I'm not about on the tokens.
Yeah, you could attach our names to the tokens. If you click on, well, you'd have to do some token setups.
Yeah, but
Or
token.
you can do what I've done, which is go out to that. I can drop the link for it again for the token stamp. You can actually add text to your token so that you could write your name out like I've done.
All right, okay. Yes, definitely going to be losing weight here. Oh, great, more weight loss.
Is anybody eating a salad? Or vegetables?
Not really.
I'm probably having some soy based. Some sort of soupy slop.
Alright. Well, if anybody's eating like leafy greens or anything that's obviously vegetables, he'll probably look at them with a meaning glare, mutter something about murders.
What? Plants. Plants.
Kind of like the exact opposite of vegan. He thinks plants should be protected and not eaten, and that we still need meat or animal products or animal-based products.
All right, so you're like you eat something like tofu and stuff.
No, tofu wouldn't be. That's based on the poor defensive scheme that is murderers.
Right, okay.